Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in. Today's topic is going to be a very much thought about topic, and initially I wasn't very sure if I should do this, but I felt like if I don't do this, I would also be encouraging others like me not to do it for whatever reason. And it is a topic that I have heard in the recent past. It's a conversation that's been happening and I'm glad it's happening, and hence I thought that it was important that I do my bit in contributing towards this conversation, because if we don't, we're never going to be able to change this narrative. Growing up a relatively dark-skinned or dusky skin toned girl in South India, I was made to feel or believe that dark or dusky skin tones are unattractive. And to top this off, if you're a girl, then it's a real goner. And so from a very tender age, the struggle truly begins. This constant effort try to look lighter or fairer and supposedly prettier. What's ironic though is that the people who actually pass these remarks or make these comments are themselves dark or dusky toned. But for some odd reason, they don't seem to see this. And this is why I find colorism such an under-discussed topic, because it actually means discrimination on the basis of color within the same ethnic group. Colorism has cascaded over generations in such a profound way that it has become an undoubted, unquestioned norm. So I'm here today to talk about this subject and how I have unlearned so much of what I believed to be true. I was one of many young girls growing up in South India who believed that to look and feel and be pretty fundamentally meant to be fair, or fair-skinned or lighter-skinned. Every ad on the TV or magazines always portrayed beauty in such a specific, well-defined box, which often meant explicitly and sometimes implicitly being fair or lighter skinned. This made me in my formative years a very shy, timid person, and somewhere down the line it did affect my social interactions. It definitely impacted my social skills. Now, it would be unfair to blame individuals or groups or the society that we live in today as a whole, because I think this is a type of conditioning that has happened over generations. It's intergenerational. And the unsaid or unthought of trauma that comes with it is also profound. So at a very young age, I always felt the need to compensate for this so-called disadvantage that I had in some way, and that always manifested in trying not to wear certain colors or trying to use fairness creams or going and getting myself bleached, like my face bleached, or wanting to wear jewelry or accessories. And it wasn't always about being in trend or keeping up with the latest fashion trends. Now looking back, I feel somewhere down the line, it was this constant need to compensate for what I thought was a disadvantage. It wasn't until my early 20s that I actually started seeing girls like me being represented in media. And the more I saw, the more I became comfortable with my own skin. Because to me, they looked as pretty as anybody else I've seen. And I did not think that the color of their skin made them look any less. I slowly started embracing my own skin color. I started feeling prettier, and I realized that my skin color did not define me. It did not define what I was capable of. It did not define what I could achieve or what I could not achieve. And I hope that this little video of mine is being watched by someone like me who's out there thinking that they are at some kind of a disadvantage just because of their skin tone. I find myself lucky for being able to identify what that belief did to my behavioral patterns. And I'm glad that I did, because if I hadn't to, I would have been carrying the same cycle over to a next generation without even knowing it or realizing it. This whole concept of colorism, this whole concept of why or how a girl needs to be pretty, this whole concept of the need to be fair, to be pretty, is simply a mental conditioning. It's nothing else. It doesn't really exist. It is in people's minds. It has been somehow weaved into their values and into their culture. But is it really there? I don't think so. We don't get to decide what the color of our skin is. We do get to decide what we wear. We do get to decide on the choices we make in our life in terms of general life choices. But the color of our skin is not something we choose. The color of our hair is not something we choose. The color of our eyes is not something we choose. So why then discriminate? So girls, one of my true intentions on this platform is to bring representation. And when I say representation, I mean I want girls out there who are dark or dusky or medium or brown or tan or whatever we call it, to feel represented, to feel understood, to feel heard. And every single content that I make, I do it intentionally to bring representation. And I do it proudly. So by no means is the tag Indian tan brown dusky skin something unusual. I do it with pride. I do it because I want girls like me out there to feel represented, just like how when I started seeing girls like me out there, I felt represented. Each one of us, regardless of our color or race, are flawed. That's why we use the term we're human. We are flawed in some way or the other. But just as we are flawed, we are also unique. We all have our own individual talents. Just like our fingerprint, we are unique. If there's one thing I would request that you take away from this, is this. It's easy to go down a trodden path, a very well trodden, easy path. But if that path is vicious, if that path is toxic, let us choose to create and navigate a new path, even if it means getting mud on our face while we try to accomplish it. That's it for my video today, guys. It's a thought, it's a simple thought, it's a seed, and the more we plant it, the more it grows, and the more it grows, the more it's seen, and the more we communicate, the more we comprehend. Bye bye.